preview.
Hi, I'm your host, Bob Sainer. If you're looking for answers or new ideas and theories about the paranormal, then come join me on my journey as I try and meet every person and team in the paranormal field, so together we can obtain the answer to the question, can we communicate with those that have passed? So come watch us as we use different methods, theories, and equipment to help us collect as much evidence as possible so together we can all keep moving forward towards the same goal. Follow me as I travel from everywhere and anywhere to investigate. There is no location I will not go.
Hey everyone, how you doing tonight? Welcome to Paranormal Wavelengths, and my name's Bob Saintner, and I'll be your host like every Sunday night. Hope you're all doing good. I can see the comments in the chat room here. As usual, there's something going on at Paranormal Wavelengths Studios. Woohoo! I had some issues with Vid Blaster here loading up. It wouldn't let me streamline for some reason, but I backed out of there a couple times, and everything's cool now. Des, let me know if you can hear me okay. Before I started talking, doing my opening dialogue, and I realized I wasn't on air, so it's like a repeat for me. Okay, I got the good. Before I get started with anything tonight, I just want to give my prayers from me and my family, and just let everyone know to send some prayers and positive energy towards a friend of mine on the West Coast, Scott Grinwald. He's the host of The Stew. His wife, Linda's sister passed away, Deanna, on Friday of a stroke, and I know they're trying to do a fundraiser net to help get some money together for a memorial, because I don't know if a lot of people know, funerals nowadays are a lot of money. I mean, it was a lot of money back 16 years ago for my daughter's funeral, and I can't imagine what it would be nowadays. So I know one of the websites you can go to is ParaQuestRadioNetwork.com. You can check out one of their shows on there, and also at the bottom, if you scroll down, there's a little donate button. So try and donate what you can. If you can't, send prayers his way on Facebook. Let him know, people are thinking of him, because everyone loves Scott, and it's hard on them when a tragedy like this happens. So please just send prayers and positive energy their way to help that family get through a tragedy like this. Tonight, I had put on there, I've gotten, over the last year and a half here, I've gotten emails, people ask me, why I do this, why I do investigating, why I'm so passionate about trying to find answers. And I also have had people, because I've mentioned my daughter Morgan a few times on the show, and my intro, when I first started this show, I talked about, a tragedy, losing our first daughter. So I thought tonight would be a good night to tell the story. I've never really told a lot of people at one time the story of her. I've told people here and there, and I don't. It's going to be 16 years this Tuesday, March 15th, and I don't know. Sometimes my friend Pam tells me you got to listen to your spirit guides, and I actually, something was telling me I should tell her story. I actually could have. I had someone that was going to be a guest on the show, and I decided to let them know if they could come later on in the month, and just so I could tell the story. I felt like I had to tell Morgan's story. It's been 16 years, so in just a little bit we will get to that, and I'll let you guys know, what happened in that. And if I'm a little, it's going to be hard for me, but I'll get through it, I promise. Then after I tell you about my daughter and the story and why I do this, I got a lot of great responses for the EVPs, pictures, and video section segments, and we'll be doing that right after. I've got people from the UK sent me stuff over. People from California sent me stuff over. People here from Florida that I know sent me stuff, so it's going to be a really cool night. But before we get to any of that, we are going to have a word from our sponsor.
For thousands of years, cultures from around the world have burned sacred plants in a bowl. To drive away negative energies and restore harmony. With these tools, you can smudge. By using the same techniques as ancient traditions once did. So if you need items and tools for your smudging, then please visit petalsandsage.com. Helping those in need. petalsandsage.com.
Sending my light, positive energy. Have a great day.
And remember, if you do need any special packets to do smudging at your home, if you have any negativity going on there, definitely check out petalsandsage.com. Pam has a lot of great items over there, and she also has links to other affiliates that have awesome products to help you out, to keep your area around you positive. So I was just, before we did the sponsor, I was mentioning Tuesday will be my 16 years from when my daughter Morgan was born. And it just, even though 16 years has gone by, it don't seem like it. It seems like it was just the other day. And when I tell you the story, I know it still makes me very sad. I still feel an emptiness inside me. But don't get me wrong, I'm very thankful for the children I have, my 4 kids that are healthy. And I don't know, if you haven't lost a child, you don't know. It's a lot different than losing a parent or even your spouse. It's just different when a child, because it just doesn't seem right. I don't know, I was 24 at the time. I just turned 24 before Morgan was born. And my wife was 22. And I don't know if I was just naive to the world because we were so young. You just didn't hear stories of babies passing away at such an early age like this. So I think that's why it caught us off by surprise. And so I know people have asked me, why was it such a surprise? We didn't know anything was wrong with Morgan until she was born, and then she was taken away from us. And she was transported to another hospital. And people ask, why didn't they detect us ahead of time? She actually, before I go on, she had a heart disease called Epstein's anomaly. It's where parts of the heart form upside down. They don't form right, so the whole heart doesn't work right. Just one side of her heart worked, and the other side just kind of was there, and it expanded to hold the blood there. The other side was pumping, and because the mothers, when the baby's still inside the mothers, since they're helping the baby still, you don't really detect it. And 16 years ago, when you were in your 20s, you didn't have a lot of money in your pocket, and we didn't have health insurance, so we were on Medicaid. And back then, they only gave you 2 ultrasounds. One near the beginning to tell what the sex of the baby is, and then they had one more you could do if the baby showed any distress, which Morgan didn't because she had a little bit of a heart murmur, but that happens with a lot of babies. And since it was our first, there was no detection of any distress, so they never did another ultrasound. So no one realized her heart was expanding, taking up her whole chest cavity. Her lungs really didn't develop to the size they were supposed to because her heart took up most of the area. We learned later when she was shipped to the other hospital, flown over. So when she was born, we didn't, it was our first baby. We didn't know. They took the baby away, and we're waiting and waiting. Nobody brings the baby back in, and we're thinking, why wouldn't they bring the baby back? And next thing you know, the doctor comes in and tells us there's a problem, a severe problem, and we've called in Mercy Flight to take her. And we're like, what do you mean Mercy Flight? And they're like, she has to be flown immediately, or she's not going to make it. They didn't know how severe it was. They just knew something was wrong. So they flew her to Arnold Palmer in Orlando. And we stayed at the hospital only for so many hours. My wife told him, you know what, we're going to get up, we're going to get over there because she's not going to sit here in the bed miles away from our daughter because we're on the East Coast. It's about an hour 20 minutes away. So the doctor, he told her, he goes, well, I have to make sure the bleeding stops before I can release you. So somehow she was able to be released within hours after giving birth to Morgan, and we got over to Arnold Palmer, and it was a scary ride because back then we didn't have cell phones. You didn't have the phone where you could just call and keep checking in at the hospital, and it was just very hard because you're just driving with no answers, not knowing what's wrong with her and how severe it was, because we didn't know if it was something that could be cured, So we got to Arnold Palmer, and we were there about a day and a half. They did different tests on her, trying to figure a way out how to save her. And that's when we found out it was Epstein's anomaly, and they showed us the x-rays of her heart, of how it expanded, and they were thinking they could go and put like shunts because the heart expanded so wide. They were thinking of taking this part that was no good anymore, and just because this side had expanded so big, they could shunt and get her heart to work long enough to get a heart transplant. So it's kind of hard to talk about it. Been so long. So at Arnold Palmer, they did as much as they could, and then they transported her to All Children's in Tampa, where the doctors also in Orlando, before they transported her, they let us know a baby with Epstein's anomaly usually passes away within hours after being born because the mother helped them stay alive inside. And once the mother wasn't there to help them pump blood through the heart, they usually pass away within hours. And we were going, with her moving over to All Children's, we were going on day 2 already. Because it was a day and a half. We were going on day 2 when we got to All Children's in Tampa. And doctors kept on telling us they couldn't understand that they weren't being rude. They're just telling us, being straightforward, saying usually babies don't last this long. And for her to be still living, she's fighting hard. So they told us they were going to do the procedure at all children's to try to put the shunts in to make the heart one side pump just like a full heart until they could get the heart transplant in. And we stayed at the Ronald McDonald House right there. They put you up there, families, and it was one of the hardest things because we didn't want to leave her side while she was there because we weren't allowed to hold her or really touch her because they didn't want us to stimulate her because they needed her to have as much strength and energy in that for the surgery to make it through it. So we weren't allowed to caress her. All we were allowed to take is like a little Q-tip and put water on her lips to keep her lips moist. So it was really hard. But they did let us hold her for about 10 minutes each. And it's just hard when you can't do nothing. But we pressed on, and I don't know, if people who know me know I'm the person with the most hope in the world. And I thought that she could be the miracle. And sometimes people say things happen for a reason. I don't understand why. But the one thing that happened that makes me wonder is we met a family, husband and wife there at All Children's, and their daughter was 10, and she had severe cancer. And she had gone into a coma. And we had talked with the family, and they were, telling us about she had been on life support for the longest time. And they just were so scared to give up and let her go. And the thing is, when Morgan did pass away, this couple that we had met, I can't even remember their name because it's so long ago. When they found out, they actually went and told the doctor to pull the plug on their daughter. And if she couldn't sustain herself and stay alive without the machinery, they felt comfortable because our daughter just passed away that she would go with her. So it was just a hard thing. People just don't understand. 16 years have passed. And it's still so hard. And we have gotten people have given us readings saying, she's here. And it does make you feel comfortable sometimes when people tell you that. But I just want an EVP or some sign that I can, hold on to. That she says she's okay. But the only other thing I can tell you, if I can get it out, I'm trying, is one thing that bothers me the most. We were called into the room near the end, and they told us, they showed her she had she had a vital, but the doctor said it really wasn't a vital. They did this surgery. They had to open her 3 times on the table there. She had passed away 3 times, and they brought her back. And when they brought her in the recovery, the chances of her surviving were very slim because her the scar tissue net expands, so they had to leave her chest open, but they covered it up so the heart could expand. And it was just so hard sitting, standing there. They told us, this was probably the end. And she was still showing vital, and I asked the doctor what it was, and it wasn't, he said it really wasn't vital. It was just, technically she was already brain dead, he said. And, she was such a fighter, and people tell me I didn't, but this is the hardest thing. I leaned over and told her that it was okay to go, that she fought long enough for us. And sometimes I think I gave and I just didn't want her to think I gave up. So I'm just gonna Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. I wasn't supposed to play that till later, but I had it on hold in case I broke down. And, thank you everyone for all the kind words in the room. I appreciate it very much. It's so hard. I've never told everybody, this many people, the story before. I've told people here and there. And honestly, I didn't even get the whole story out. All they know is, I love Morgan more than anything in the world. I love all my children more than anything in the world, and they know that. And a big reason I do investigating is because I'm hoping, we can find something that actually really communicates because I'm that sensitive medium type where I can get messages through to me and hear. Oh my God, I wish I did. Just to hear my daughter, say something to me, and my wife's the same way. If she could get that one message, that's a big reason why I do this. I just want to try and network. I do this show just to meet different people and different methods and theories and equipment and just everything. That's a big reason. And I, I know a lot of people when they go into investigations or locations to investigate, they call on, they pray to God. And I mean, I pray to God. I have to admit, I was pretty angry the first couple years after she had passed, because people are most angry when they don't have answers, and I don't have the answer. A lot of people, pastors and ministers I've talked with, always tell you, there's a reason she was chosen. I don't know. It just bugs me. I didn't choose it though, and I know there's a higher power, and I'll know one day when I pass, I'll see her on the other side. Sometimes I don't tell people this usually, but when I do go into locations, I do talk to the spirits, telling them if there's anything there negative, I tell them they don't have no power over me because my daughter Morgan is with me. She's my guardian angel. She protects me. And I know it's not that it's silly. I don't want people to think I'm crazy, but that's a big thing. That's why some people think I'm fearless. It's not that I'm fearless. I just feel very strong that I'm protected by her. And I do have to admit, I know I say I have not gotten a sign like visually or hearing her voice, but sometimes I do get the smell from that baby smell when she was at All Children's in Tampa. The same way she smelled for that 10 minutes when I held her. You just get it sometimes, and that does make me happy. But I've come a long way. If people would have known me back 16 years ago after this happened, I wasn't as hopeful as I am now. It's taken a long time to come back. And, me and my wife will be going on 19 years of marriage in August. And it's been a rough 19 years on and off here, because people that lose a child, the percentage of them staying together or divorcing is like 85% usually divorce due to this. They just can't handle it, one or the other, because people blame themselves for it. And me and my wife, we've stayed strong, ups and downs, but we're still here. So that's one thing I'm happy for. And getting into the investigating, I did investigating on my own. I don't really tell people things like this before I started getting with a team. I read some books here and there about talking with the other side, and I started reading things about using recorders for EVPs where you can catch things. And I'll admit, I've gone back in the day. I did go out to her cemetery to see if you could get a message, and I've done stuff at my house here. This is years ago, before I actually got with a team, and then I realized that that there was teams around, and then ghost hunters came out, and I saw how they did stuff, and then I hooked up with Florida Ghost Team first, and they taught me a bunch of things I shouldn't have really been doing, investigating my own house, because I could be opening up gateways and doing more harm at my house. So I've come a long way to where I am now, and the funny thing is I got so much more of a journey to go, and I just hope somewhere down the way, even if I don't get an answer from Morgan before I pass, I just hope I can somehow help the paranormal community to help maybe someone else get a message one day. And just, I don't know, it just hurts me so much when you see, like, I'll admit right now, it's so hard. We can't go to a funeral of a child, or even a kid, because last year when my daughter was in middle school, she lost 10 classmates over the year. I mean, from train, the one was on the news, and I felt so bad. Me and my wife, we couldn't take her to these funerals. We had a friend do it. I just couldn't handle seeing a young life like that cut so short. But I I just want to thank you guys so much for giving me all the love in the room and that. I didn't mean to come on here to cry or make people sad. I just something told me I should tell Morgan's story to everybody. There's even though she didn't make it, there's still hope. I mean, not saying I have a great life, but I hear so many stories of people turning to drugs and that over silly things because they ran out of money. And I mean, we had it's a major tragedy when you lose a child. And if there's people listening in the room that have lost a child, you can hit me up on my email, paranormalwavelengths@yahoo.com, if you got questions. And if you want, hit me up on email. I'll give you my number. You can talk to me or my wife. Maybe I can give you some comforting words. It's a very lonely place because people don't know what to say to you. They don't want to come up. I've had people, friends say, maybe you just weren't ready for a kid. It's like, why would you say that? That bugs me. I mean, that was 16 years ago, but it still bugs me, the person who said it. It's like, I would never say that to them. Maybe you weren't ready for a kid. That's why your daughter passed away. It's like, it just drives me crazy. But that's a big reason I'm at this point. I'm just trying to find answers, and I'll share anything and everything with everybody if I do find an answer. And if you find answers, let me know so I can test the theories. That's why if you're in a room and you want to be a guest on the show, hit me up. If you got something you want to talk about, some theory or method or the way your team does it, hit me up. And you know what? We'll get you on here. And I'm always looking to learn more and more stuff. So, sorry, I'm a little more under control. I don't worry. I know the show's running kind of late. I got segments in that to get to. I don't have anybody on my own little network over here, so I can go as long as I want. But I just wanted to get that off my chest. I thank you all for supporting me and giving me the love in the room. And you know what, Morgan, I love you, and it's happy birthday, early birthday. Tuesday you'll be 16, and we miss you still so much. We are going to get on to our segments here. People have sent me EVPs, pictures, and some video footage from investigations they've done. Like I said earlier, I got some people from the UK have sent over things, California, New Jersey, Florida here. So it was an awesome response to the ad I put on Facebook. And I appreciate everyone that has sent stuff. And some of the things I wasn't able to get all of it on tonight. So I'll be doing segments here and there. So please, if you have any evidence you want to share on here to get other people's opinions, please send it over to paranormalwavelengths@yahoo.com. And I will get it on here. And everything that I put, any type of evidence you send over, I let people know who the person was that sent it and the team they're representing. So let's get on to our EVP segment.
Before dawn. Before dawn. Before dawn. Before dawn. Before dawn. Before dawn.
All right. The first EVP we have is from John Shu, member of Haunted and Paranormal Investigations International in Loomis, California. You can also check out John's YouTube at Darkview Paranormal for some of his other EVPs and videos he has on there. This is the EVP. I'll play it 3 times, and then I'll let you know what it is. This is a very quick one. Most of the other ones have seconds, a little bit before and a little bit after the EVP. This is a quick one. Here we go. One more time. The EVP he sent, he was saying it says the name Caleb, and that he's got a couple other ones that are a little bit longer. That's the one thing, John. If you're in the room or if you listen to, if you check the archive, one thing I learned over the years, and people telling me, is you try and get a few seconds before where you think you've caught something, and a few seconds after, so people can compare in case other voices in the room and that. But you can definitely hear that it's saying something like Caleb. So if anyone has any opinion in the room, I know Disturbed, it does sound like from music. But the next one up is from Michelle Vance, and she's a member of Old Gilchrist Jail Ghost Hunters. She actually is asking a question, and she gets an answer. So just listen closely.
Are you in here because you were incarcerated here?
I'll play it again.
Are you in here because you were incarcerated here? Are you in here because you were incarcerated here?
Yeah, I see everyone in the room there saying, yeah, the response she got was yes. You can hear it right after she's asking it. And Michelle, you didn't give me. Was that at the Old Gilchrist jail, or was that at the other jail your team was investigating? Let everybody know in the room. Michelle's in the room right now. She can, if you have any questions about what jail she was in. But yeah, that was a good one. That's good when you get a response so quickly like that when you're asking a question. It kind of shows that you might have more of an intelligent hunt there than just a residual or just casual words being said, when it actually gives an answer to a question. So that was really cool. And if you look in the chat room, Michelle just said, yes, that was the Old Gilchrist Jail. And remember, they're always looking for teams to come up there and visit them. It's a very cool place. I was up there a while back, and I know they've been trying to get us back up there. Hopefully, maybe sometime during the summer here, we'll get back up there. So the next one on the list here, let me get it set up here, is from John Duddy. He's the founder of Northeast Florida Paranormal Investigations. This one that he sent over, he wasn't sure what it says, but you hear the voice near the end saying something. And John, I hope you don't mind, I put your team logo that you had on your website, the words, with that picture, just to kind of give it some visual, if that's cool. So here's the one that John Duddy sent over from his team.
I felt something in here, but I don't think they're in the view of the camera. What? I felt something in here, but I don't think they're in the view of the camera.
One more time. It's right near the end. Near the end, it sounds like a whisper, if I'm not mistaken. That's what we're looking for, right, John? John's in the room. Ask John any questions.
What? I felt something in here, but I don't think they're in the view of the camera.
Hey, Rob, that was actually that was a pretty good guess. Rob said it looks like it sounded like "Come Take Me." It almost sounds like the whisper near the end there sounds like a woman's voice. It does sound like "Come Take Me." And remember, these EVPs that I'm playing right now, and a lot of this evidence, I will put on Paranormal Wavelength's Facebook page, like I did last show. So then you can listen to it at any time you want. Plus, when I archive the show, you can pause and listen. a lot of these, I mean, you can hear them pretty good through my speakers, but you put the headphones on, you hear them even way crazier better. So, but that was a really cool one that John sent over from his team. This next one was actually from this one is from my team. Well, actually, it wasn't my team. Wasn't there? I was there as Paranormal Wavelengths. I was there with John Scott Dreyer. His team is Florida Unknown. Back then he was, I think it was John. Help me out. I think you're in, or Scott, help me out. I know you're in the room. They're called Florida Unknown now. We were doing a Christmas cottage, and we had some guest investigators there too with us. But take a listen to this one.
Yeah, someone likes to sit in that chair. In a chair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll play it again. It's right after she says someone likes sitting in a chair, you'll hear something in the background.
Yeah, someone likes to sit in that chair. In a chair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more.
Yeah, someone likes to sit in that chair. In a chair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could. Yeah, Jim, you're right. It says right here, it says someone likes sitting in that chair. Actually, it was a video footage, but I just made it into an EVP. I caught it on my little handy cam, and she was right near this chair and said, she's like, gee, someone likes sitting in that chair. She was sensitive, and all of a sudden you just hear that, yeah, and then you actually hear one of the team members of Florida Unknown say, yeah. So you could actually hear his voice say, yeah, and you know it wasn't, I mean, that sounded like it was in a distance, like someone screaming at the top of their lungs. So that was kind of a creepy sounding one. You're like, okay. It's like, next. The next one we have is another one from John Shu, member of Haunted and Paranormal Investigations International in Loomis, California. And remember, check out his YouTube at Darkview Paranormal. There's another one. This is a little bit longer one from John.
Anyone here, please talk to us. This is your chance to let us know that you're here.
All right, if you listen, it was right near the end there, you hear a woman's voice. I won't say what it said.
Anyone here, please talk to us. This is your chance to let us know that you're here.
One more time, right there, you hear like a woman's voice at the end. And Rob, I saw you saying about the music. John didn't give me a lot of information about this one except for what it says. But I think they were playing the music to set the mood of old music to see if they could get a response. So listen one more time, right near the end there, you'll hear a woman say something. But I'll check into that with John just to make sure, Rob, and I'll get back with everybody about it.
Anyone here, please talk to us. This is your chance to let us know that you're here.
if you listen right at the end there, it sounds like a woman saying, "I'm doing fine." Very faint. That one is a little bit harder. You would have to, that would be one, oops, sorry, just moving some stuff around here. That's one you'd probably have to listen to. I'll have it on Facebook. Listen with your headphones on, because you can hear it right at the end. It's a very faint woman. "I'm doing fine." And it's a little hard when you're listening through the speakers. And Rob, I will get with Living Well, listening to Paranormal Wavelengths. Very funny, Rob. But I'll get with John and make sure about the music. But I think they were playing the music because it sounded like he clicked it to play it again. Now, the next one up, we've got quite a few EVPs here. The next one up is from Desiree Page. She is a member of Paranormal Consulting Agency, and this one was taken at the abandoned house in West Palm Beach, Florida. So listen to this one. This is a good one.
Do you want to tell us anything?
Do it again.
Do you want to tell us anything?
One more.
Do you want to tell us anything?
That was a good one that Des sent over. I was actually on that investigation with Paranormal Consulting Agency, Roy and Denise from Paratrek TV, and Tim Yancey was out there. And it was a really good time out there investigating. And I don't know, for some night, I don't know if because it was 40-some degrees out, but Des got a lot of really good EVPs from that location. And that one actually answers her quickly, you know? And it was weird, too, because it was like it almost sounded like an English woman's voice answering. And I thought that was kind of cool, because I don't think they got any EVPs. They've gotten a lot out at that location, but I don't think they've gotten like a woman with an accent. So I thought that was kind of cool. Now, the next one up is going to be from John Duddy again, the founder of Northeast Florida Paranormal Investigations. Take a listen to this one.
We're going to leave you for now, but we'll be back later on. I'm going to send somebody else in to talk with you, okay?
Right near the end there, listen, you hear like a whisper.
We're going to leave you for now, but we'll be back later on. I'm going to send somebody else in to talk with you, okay?
One more time.
We're going to leave you for now, but we'll be back later on. I'm going to send somebody else in to talk with you, okay?
John was saying if you listen through with the headphones, it says goodbye. And you can hear right at the end there to whisper, like, it appears like goodbye, like, thank you, move on. So that was a really good one John sent over. And it's kind of funny when the spirit says goodbye to you. You're like, oh, we're going to be back. Goodbye, like, move on. Now this next one is, it was out at the abandoned house in West Palm Beach. It's the same investigation where Des got her EVP we just played. This one here was actually, Des was using a hack box. And I caught this on my recorder. Des caught it on her recorder. We get a response when she asked the spirits to say something. Just take a listen here.
Can you say Bob's name?
Was that a Bob?
Yeah? No.
Can you say Bob's name?
Was that a Bob?
Yeah? No.
I'm telling you, that was an awesome night of investigating. It was cold out, but it seemed like we were getting so much activity that night. And just standing there when Des asked, "Can you say Bob's name?" And we're sitting there, and I thought it said Bob. I'm like, "Did it say Bob?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, I heard it." And then when you listen back, I caught it on my recorder. Des had it on her recorder, so it wasn't just. I mean, I know Bob's a very common name, but it was kind of cool to get a response. I mean, it was pretty quick too after she asked the spirits to say my name, so I thought it was kind of cool. I've only gotten a few. I'm still kind of skeptic on the hack boxes, and I haven't used a Joe box, which I would like to use a Joe box because some of the stuff Stephen Hill's gotten is pretty cool. But I've only got a few responses, and that was one of the major ones saying Bob. And I know we've gotten at that location when we were in the burnt. There's a room that's the walls are all charred. We got kept on getting on the hack box saying burnt fire while we were in that room. So that was kind of coincidence. Yeah, it could, but it was kind of cool. The next one we have is from John Shu, member of Haunted and Paranormal Investigations International. And like I said earlier, check out his YouTube, Dark View Paranormal. This is a little bit longer EVP2. Check this one out.
Actually, let Walter start it off.
If you hear it right in the middle there, I think he tried amplifying it. That's why it sounds a little weird. But listen again.
Actually, let Walter start it off.
You hear a woman's voice in there. I'll play it one more time because it's a little hard. I think he was, I try amplifying certain sections if I hear something. And right when you hear it amplify, you hear a woman's voice say something.
Actually, let Walter start it off.
What John said, if you listen, where he amplified it, he's talking. Then also you hear a woman say, "Hold my hand," just out of the blue. I thought that was kind of cool. But like I said, listen to these on Facebook or go back through the show with your headphones on. You can hear them so much more clear. But that was a very cool one John sent over. Funny that woman just says, "Hold my hand." And the last one I have is from, it's actually an EVP video. There's different EVPs on it. There's some, it's more pictures with writing telling you what's going on. I'll try and narrate and stop and replay it. It was sent from Erica Gregory. She's the founder of Worsley Paranormal Group over in the UK. This video and the EVPs are from the Hyde Town Hall in Manchester, UK. And Erica, if you get to watch this on archive or if you're in the room, send me a plane ticket and I'll definitely come over and hang out and do a castle with you guys or even this location. Because when you watch this video with the EVPs they put on there, I don't know if I caught this much noise and you were sitting in a room and you didn't hear any of this, I would be like, holy smokes, this is awesome. So take a listen. I'm going to try and stop it, pause it, and I'll try and so you can read the writing and then listen. And right at the beginning it starts off, the noise, the stuff you're going to hear at the beginning was actually one of the EVPs that they caught after they didn't hear while standing around. So let's shift to this. Here we go. If you read, he put adding a response to myself and group members caught in the police cell. You could hear screaming, that scream and banging noises earlier. So take a listen. This keeps going on.
Does anyone at the end of that corridor kick the ball back?
I don't think they did, Hula, the way he put it. If they did, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, it's just a picture. How you'd stand there if you heard all that banging and that. I mean, I would have went towards it to see what was going on and make sure someone wasn't messing with me. But I'll get some more information. I'll post it on Facebook after the show and let people know. So here we go. We'll go on with this.
Come on, if there's a male spirit here, dominant in this area, we need to hear your voice. Who screamed before? Who screamed before?
Did you hear that? Did you hear that there?
Did you hear it?
Yeah. No, that was somebody shouting.
That was someone
shouting.
Who shouted that? Who screamed before?
I could hear that one saying, "Get lost." So that was kind of cool. They actually heard that too. And Hula, to your question, I think they actually did hear that screaming before, because that lady said who was screaming before. So that's kind of weird that they were hearing that screaming and banging.
Who screamed before?
He laughed.
Who screamed before? Who shouted? Come on, come up the corridor and come and talk to us. Tell us your name.
I'm going to say, did they
Go
put
there.
long-term prisoners in these kind of
Say it.
cells? They would have put them in kind of
Say it.
cells. They would have put them there.
Come on.
And when you said something, then someone said, I heard something out there.
There.
Come on.
And when you said something, then someone said, I heard something out there.
So that was the video that they sent over from the UK. It was pretty cool. It's kind of hard because you're trying to read and concentrate on what you're listening for. I'll get a little bit. I didn't get a lot of info. I was trying to go off of what they sent on the video, but I'll get more info when I post this from Erica, and so you guys can check it on Facebook with your headphones and that on. But they had some cool stuff. That'd be awesome to hear that much banging going around in you're sitting in the cell, walking around in this place, and you hear banging and screaming, and you don't think it might be something going on. So that was kind of cool. And it was kind of cool, I've been talking with Erica and them sending emails. It's kind of cool talking with people from the UK, because a lot of those locations got so much history compared to what I get excited if I get in a commercial location and it's like almost 100 years old. It's like the stuff over there is thousands. And I kind of like the history of locations, going in and checking stuff out. So I thank everyone that sent the EVPs in, and I appreciate it. Keep sending them in. I'll keep doing little EVP segments like this and the other segments that will be coming up here. Pictures, videos, keep sending them in. Next up, we're going to do our announcements. And our first announcement is actually going to be for next Sunday, March 20th. We're going to have Trish Yancey on. And like I said last week, some say she's the better half of the Yanceys. And I'm kind of on the fence because I've known Tim for probably a little over 3 years now. But I did get to I've met Trish a few times, and I got to talk to her quite a bit at my surprise birthday party. Awesome lady, lots of positive energy, and she's always just talking with her. You can just feel the positive energy coming off of her, and just the way she talks about helping. She's just there to help children, help anybody in need, and I just think that's awesome. And she is also one of the hosts of Encounters Live, which you can check that out on Saturdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time on encounterslive.com. And I know Tim's broadcasting out of a bunch of different networks, but if you go to encounterslive.com, you can check it out there. And if you can't make his show, he archives just like me on Ustream, so you can check any of his shows out. And Tim's got a lot of cool stuff going on. And Trish is right there by his side, and he's got Matt and Tina helping over there too, doing awesome stuff. So definitely check it out. The next week after that, we are going to be on hiatus. We're going to take a break on February, March 27th, because my kids will be out of school. They have their spring break ready a month ahead of Easter, which is kind of weird. And then on April 3rd, I'm still waiting for a confirmation. I have a guest that's going to be coming on, but I can't say yet, so we'll have to wait before hopefully I can announce it next week. But then on April 10th, we are going to have on the Kling brothers, Brad and Barry from Ghost Lab. And they are also the founders of Everyday Paranormal. And we're going to talk with them and see what they got going on in their neck of the woods and what kind of equipment they're up to. They're always using brand new stuff I've never seen before. It's kind of cool to watch Ghost Labs. I know I don't want to say definitely, but I think this is their last season, and then they're going to be done. But they're still out in the community, paranormal community, helping out people and sharing information, which is very cool. So definitely check out the show on April 10th and see what they have to say. So that is our announcements for now. Next up, we are going to do the picture. We are going to do the picture segment. So let's go to the picture segment. Alright, this is our picture segment. So people have sent pictures over. I'm going to put them on here, and I'll show them to you. I'll try and explain what's going on, and then I'll try and put, because they sent 3 to 4 pictures so you can see before, now, and after. So the first picture actually was sent a while back, and this is just the first part of it. The first picture was sent by Melissa Todd. It was taken by her mother at a party going on at a marina. She was just taking pictures. This was the first picture she took. Then the next picture she takes, something kind of appears right in the middle area. Now, I'm not sure. The first picture is kind of lighter. So let me show you quick here. I'm going to put the pictures next to each other. If you look, seems darker on the right side compared, like they also put spotlights on the left side picture. And I don't know if that's what caused this, but if you look, look like there's legs there. Go to the big picture. You can see there's almost like a cloud there with legs. And I don't know if it's because of the lights to the right there causing the effect, because here's the after picture. And these pictures, when I was talking with Melissa, they were taken within seconds of each other. Yeah, it looks like a cloud with legs. It's kind of weird, but I'm not sure if it's the way the lighting's coming from the right side, because now it's just disappeared. Look at, I'll show you the pictures next to each other. And it's almost like she zoomed in, too, on the after picture, or moved closer. But when Melissa sent these over, she said her mom said she took these pictures within, at least a minute of each other, not even. And when she was looking through them, she was like, what the heck is that? There's legs. And it looks like a cloud. Yeah, and you can see through it, too. No, you know what? Kathy, I think it was... I think this is a digital camera. I don't think it was on film. So I don't know. I'll make sure with her, but I'm almost positive she had put in her email that it was a digital camera. But it was kind of cool, though, because she had the 3 pictures she sent over, and with them side by side, you can see how I just weird. I don't know if it's because that big spotlight popped on. Because look, I'll put the before picture on quick and show you what that looked like. See how dark it was, and then all of a sudden, boom! These big spotlights came on in the left picture. So I don't know if that's what caused the effect, but it could have been. But it's a cool picture. I'll post these on Facebook. The next pictures were sent in. Give me 1 second here. Boom. The next pictures were sent in by Michelle Vance. She is a member of Old Gilchrist Jail Ghost Hunters. She circled the area of interest, and on the third pic I'll be showing, she did an inversion to a negative look, and you can still see whatever it was. The first picture is kind of far, a little bit of a distance. The next one, she actually zooms in, and you can see the shadow outline by the tombstones there. And it's pretty cool looking how you got an outline of a figure there. The next one she sent, she actually, like I said, did an inversion to the negative. And you still see it there, the outline of like, almost like a person either sitting there or standing there between the tombstones. Let me pop these two next to each other. Oh, hold on. See, there's the regular picture that she zoomed in on, and then there's the one she did the inversion on, and you can still see it. Yeah, it does look like it's almost sitting there, Michelle. That's what's pretty interesting. And like Hula was saying, you can actually, and hands on knees, almost like you're kind of like, just hanging out. But that's a very cool picture, and it's cool that you did the inversion too, because even though you did the inversion, you still had the dark shadow, or the shadow outline of the picture. So I thought that was very, very cool. And where was that, Michelle? You said it was at a cemetery, right? Yeah, it does look like a statue. That was the last picture she had sent, and you still see it there. Now, the next one that were sent in by Rich Valdez, and he is the founder of Paranormal Consulting Agency. These were taken at the Cuban Club in Ybor City, Florida, and I was actually on this investigation with him, and when he sent them over and showed me, I mean, my first instinct was, were you standing in a picture? Because right now it's a little bit of a distance. The next picture he sent actually zooms in a little bit more. He did a different effect. If you look back by the window there, it almost looks like there's a figure standing there. Go to the next one. I know when Rich showed me this, I thought it was his reflection at first, or the guy that was giving us a tour, his reflection. That's the up close. You can see the head and the shoulder and everything, and it's inside the room. Yeah, I saw that you cropped him out of the picture. That's why I didn't put it in there. And the cool thing is, Rich sent this out to a photographer specialist that he works with. The guy has no ties to the paranormal field. He's just a photographer specialist. And he looked us over for Rich. And the one thing he said that it wasn't a reflection, it's actually inside the room when he looked at it. Because first thing I said when I saw it was, Rich, were you standing there? Because it looks like a guy with a shaved head. And yeah, it's Shaq. And I thought, you sure that's not you? And Rich wasn't in the area when this was taken. I almost think, Tammy, you took the picture, right? I see you talking. And I know there was a gentleman that was giving us the walk around, and he had a shaved head, but he wasn't in the area either. So that's the first thing I thought of, and Rich debunked that right away, saying that wasn't happening. Neither of us were in the area, so everybody else there had hair. And when Rich's photographer specialist looked at it, he said, that's someone on the other side looking out at you. So I thought that was kind of, the more you look at it, you can see more definition in that. It's pretty creepy looking. But that was at the Cuban Club. That was really cool. We had some cool experiences that night. I was there with Rich and his team, and we had some guest investigators with us too. So it was a cool night. But those were our pictures that were sent in, which was very cool. And I will be posting them on Facebook too, so if you want to take a different look at them and look at them up close on your own computer, because I know people have programs where you can zoom in more. But that last picture that Rich sent where he zoomed in, that was really cool looking. I mean, it looks like a person just looking out at you, giving you the look like, are you in my location? And it was very cool. So that was the picture segment. I know we're running a little behind here, or running a little past time, but hey, it's cool. We're going to get to our video section in just a minute. Next up, we're going to play a video segment from my good friend Brandon Chrysler. He's the founder of Past Paranormal Activity Surveillance Team of Illinois. And he is doing, he is a board member and chief creative officer with Manteno State Hospital's Morgan Building. A lady that used to be a team member of Past bought this location. And Brandon's now on the board to help, and they're going to be opening it up in April to investigate. And they put a little video together to let you see what the place looks like. I've seen this on his show, and I wish I lived closer because this place is just mammoth. But Brandon sent this over to me and said, hey, could you pass it along and let people check it out? So if you are in the area up in Chicago, Illinois, check it out. This is going to be a very cool location to be investigating up there. So check this video out and all the different areas you can check out. awesome video, Brandon. Brandon always does awesome work. Me and Brandon talk a lot on Skype and through IMs and that. And I have to admit, Brandon does. Have you ever watched Past? It's on Thursday nights at from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time over on ParaX. Definitely check his show out. Some of the music videos he puts together, just putting all these clips, he does awesome work. And this video here just shows you how awesome this location is. And I was looking in the chat room, and if I'm not mistaken, Tom was saying this is going to be one of the locations for Paranormal Kicks Cancer for people to investigate, and the money goes towards the Paranormal Kicks Cancer event, which is very cool. And Laura's in the room, and I think, Laura, you're the owner, right? And you were on Brandon's show? Because I was watching his show the night you were on, checking it out. If you hit me up in the chat room, I'll see if I'm right or not. But it's a very cool location. If you're up in the area during anytime, check it out. Set up a appointment with Laura in that. And sorry, Laura. I didn't think her name was Laura because I watched the show. I'll have to get her on the show here and let her tell people about the location and some of the experience people have had there already. Because I saw you guys putting their Jim was in the location and had 2 ladies were touched already. So that's kind of cool. But very cool video. And that's to start out our video segment here. So let's start the videos that were sent here. Video segment. Sorry about that. The first video that was sent to us was from John Duddy, founder of Northeast Florida Paranormal Investigation. This video was taken during a private home investigation near Trenton. And they had the IR camera set up on the back porch where the homeowner had reported seeing figures moving across the windows. All of his investigators were located within the home at the time this was recorded. The home is also located on a piece of property approximately 30 acres with no one close by the back porch and is facing the woods. Thus, there are no lights from potential passing automobiles. And they've visited this home a couple of additional times and spent significant time trying to debunk to no success. So if you look at the organization of the light and the angle, one would think that could be something like a laser light shining in from outside the patio, given the angle. So we will start this. Given the angle, if this were the case, it would have to be low to the ground. The screen patio has a low wall, approximately 2 feet up from the ground, would not allow that. So, John, I've worked with John up in Jacksonville on a case where I'm going to show another video, and he's very, very thorough when he's doing stuff. So, check this video out. I'll play it again. If you look, it just appears, like John said, right near the bottom, and then comes up a line of light. You see the bugs flying around. Then also you see that line of light. That's kind of weird. Why would it do that? That's what it looks like. That's what John said too, Hula, that it looked like a car light. But like he said, they're on a 30-acre property. We'll play it one more time. And this is to the woods, this porch. No vehicles can hit this porch, John was saying. So that's why he was saying it's kind of weird. It does look like the way it moves in that would be like headlights from a car. But that's kind of cool though, John. It's something different that you haven't seen before. It's like, it's kind of odd. But John, I'll post that on Facebook and people can put their opinions on there. But John gave me a lot of information about that, saying, it's to the back of woods, and it's on a 30-acre property away from traffic and that. So my first thought, too, was there would be a headlight. So that's kind of something kind of weird. Now, this next one, it was on John's IR camera again, and it was up in Jacksonville. I was doing an investigation with him, and we caught something coming across the room here. So check this out. All right, the next, I'm going to play it again, but I slow motion it down. And the first thing I thought of when we seen this, that it was a bug. So check it out again. This is more in slow motion. So it's going to take a few more minutes for it to get through the camera here, the way it was moving. If you look at the timestamp too, it's 23:04. See how it... First thing I thought too was, Michelle, that it was a bug. The way it's moving across the room. But I actually sent this footage out to a photographer specialist and video specialist. And the one thing he could tell me was that it wasn't a bug. The equipment he used, he was able to zoom in to where he said you couldn't see wings or the body. It was just, he thought maybe it was a dust bunny blowing around. But there was no air on in this building, and all the windows, everything was shut. And it was kind of weird how it moved. If you watch, here, I'll play it one more time. Here's in regular time. Watch how fast it moves. But I was thinking of, a drunk mosquito, Tim. I'm not saying it's paranormal, I'm just saying it was something odd. But the next one we have up is, this was taking 16 minutes later in the room right straight above this room. And the same effect happened. Did you see how it started up? Watch, we'll play it again here. Give me a second. If you watch closely, it starts near the back filing cabinet. It looks like it comes from, like it's up top first, floating around. And then boom, it comes right towards there. And I made a mistake. There was some air blowing on there. I got another clip. It's in slow motion. There was air conditioning on there. I forgot. But in this location is how I remembered. The air vent was up the little chair sitting there to the desk. The air vent was behind that, blowing forward to the desk towards the door. And this thing comes straight towards the camera. And the weird thing is, that's the only time it happened the whole night, and no one talked about bugs flying around him and that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's paranormal, it's just something odd that happened, and it was just weird. But we sent it to Jim, we sent it to a photo guy, and he said that he couldn't see no wings. Yeah, it does look like it's flapping, doesn't it, the way it's moving? But the guy that we sent it to said he couldn't see no wings or anything when he zoomed in on it. He thought more it was a dust bunny just blowing around, but he said it was moving kind of odd just to be dust bunny blowing around. But this next one is from John Duddy and his crew again. John catches a lot of stuff on his IR cameras. It's kind of funny how much he catches on his IR cameras. I used to joke around that people didn't catch a lot of stuff on them. But he just put this on Facebook. This was all the investigators were centrally located at the command center at the time this happened. It's shooting across the Chiefland Theater approximately 40 feet towards the stage. It's very interesting since the orb actually reflects light on the stage floor. If this were a bug or dust, this would not be the case. And he compared it with other things, and John's very thorough. He goes over everything. And they tried doing different stuff, trying to debunk it. And he just said it's very interesting. It's odd when you see it. Here, check this out. See, the first thing I thought it was a flashlight the way it was moving, but like you said, it illuminates on the stage. Play it again. But yeah, it's weird when it gets close to the stage. It's like it lights up right on the stage. If that was someone doing a flashlight, the flashlight would have hit across the stage, made a line. So that was a very odd video. We'll do it one more time because we're just about done here with our evidence. But this was a very cool one that John, he has it on Facebook. I'll post it on my Facebook too so everyone can check it out again. But just the way it comes down to the floor, it's a very cool. I mean, yeah, you can't say, oh, it's all paranormal, but it's just something cool that you caught on video. Now this last one, it's a video that I was doing at an abandoned house. I should have put it with the EVP section because it's not really anything visual. It's more you'll hear something here as we're talking. Check this one out.
I want to cry. You know, I don't. You got it.
Your flashlight's in.
Yeah. It's like it's overwhelming. Like you want to cry, and my head is really very. I'm getting kind of dizzy. You know what I mean?
You almost feel like you're congested, like your head. You get that head cold. That's what I feel like right now. Like I'm almost got a head cold going on.
It's that thickness that's come from that main room, but I feel. Keep my feet on it.
You heard that woman's voice in between us talking. Neither of us responded to it. Listen to it again.
I want to cry. You know, I don't. You got it.
Your flashlight's in.
Yeah. It's like it's overwhelming. Like you want to cry, and my head is really very. I'm getting kind of dizzy. You know what I mean?
You almost feel like you're congested, like your head. You get that head cold. That's what I feel like right now. Like I'm almost got a head cold going on.
It's that thickness that's come from that main room, but I feel. Keep my feet on it.
That was another one out at that West Palm Beach abandoned house. That was very cool because we were talking, and like I said, I just felt like I just got this head cold all of a sudden. I felt real congested, and I just felt off. And the funny thing is, Lori that was in there, she was talking about it too, not feeling right. And then also hear that woman's voice, you know, no. So that was a really cool catch. I should have put it with the EVPs, but hey, you know what? Stuff happens. We keep rolling along here. But that is all the evidence that was sent that I can get to tonight. I've got some other stuff I'll be playing in shows down the road here on EVP segments, picture segments, and video segments. I thank everyone that sent them in. Awesome job, everyone. And remember, when I put them on Facebook, put your opinions on there. And remember what I say, use common courtesy. You don't need to belittle people. If you think it's something already, just put your opinion on there. You know what? Hey, everyone has an opinion, but you don't have to be a destructive opinion. Make it a creative one. So I appreciate everyone that sent the evidence in to Paranormal Wavelengths. And if you have anything you want to send in and have your team represented on here, just hit me up at paranormalwavelengths@yahoo.com. And I just like to thank everyone for being here tonight and just showing their support and showing the love in the room for me and just, hanging in there with me. I appreciate it, everyone. And come back next week on March 20th when we'll have Trish Yancey on, which is going to be an awesome show. The lady just has tons of positive energy flowing from her. and has a lot of good stuff she's doing, helping out people and children and everything. So definitely come back next Sunday, same time, and check the show out. You guys all have a good work week and a good weekend. And I will see you guys all next Sunday. Paranormal Wavelengths signing out. Good night, guys.